Hello everyone, my name is Yavuz Durdak and I am the Microsoft SAP department head. Today we will talk about the transport process in Romania, and then we will introduce and give some background information regarding Microsoft e-transport solution for Romania. The agenda of today's meeting is as on the screen. First of all, I will start with a Microsoft company introduction. I will provide some background information regarding the operations and products and services by Microsoft. In the second part of the presentation, we will talk about the status of a transport process in Romania. We will talk about the e-transport process and the latest regulations about the e-transport process. In the third part of the presentation, we will provide Microsoft e-transport solution offered for Romania e-transportation system. We will talk about the system components, functions and some capabilities, and also the project implementation plan and the stages of the project. Finally, we will have the conclusion part. Now, let's start with Microsoft company introduction, in which we will provide information regarding Microsoft and the products and services. Microsoft were established in 2013 and acting in the information technology sector. The headquarters of the Microsoft is located in Frankfurt, Germany, and also we have offices at Istanbul and Ankara, as well as we have local consultants at different countries in the world. In general, we produce innovative solutions, especially within the scope of digital transformation in different countries, and also we have SAP and non-SAP solutions, and we are expanding the scope of our activities according to requirements of the information technology sector. As Microsoft, we have operations in 32 countries, concentrated in Europe, and also we have operations in Asia, America and Africa, and we have more than 75 global companies located at different countries in the world. In this slide, you can see the list of countries in which Microsoft have operations and products. As I said, our operations are mostly concentrated in European countries, but we are also operating in different continents as well. As Microsoft, one of the main operation area of our company is the e-compliance solutions, and within the scope of e-compliance you can see the list of products and services that are provided by Microsoft. In general, we have e-invoice solution, e-archive solution, VAT reporting, SAFTI reporting or e-ledger solutions. They are named differently in different countries. Also, we have e-transport and vehicle solutions, virtual warehouse solutions, e-accounting slip solution, recycling fee declaration solution, and also inflation accounting solution. As I said, in different countries, some different implementations or different naming conventions can be used, but in general, the main product is more or less very similar. In addition to e-compliance solutions, as Microsoft, we have several SAP solutions as well, including SAP GDPR solutions, SAP integration solutions, smart banking applications, and also financial solutions. In this slide, you can see the services and products offered by Microsoft. First of all, we provide SAP project management services, including Greenfield, Brownfield and Bluefield implementation for SAP S/4HANA systems. And also we have SAP modules consultancy services, especially within the scope of logistics and finance, such as SDMM, FICO, etc. modules. Also we have SAP integration services, custom application developments according to requests of the customers, and also we have outsourcing consultancy. Additionally, we have e-compliance products and services to our clients. If you want to have more detailed information regarding our products and services, please visit our website at microsoft.com. Also, if you should need more detailed information regarding the products or services, you can also contact with us and we can have demo sessions or provide technical information regarding the products and services. That brings me to the second part of our presentation, status of air transport process in Romania. In this section, we will provide some background information and also explain Romanian air transport process. Let's start with the definition of waybill or a transport document. As you know, a waybill is a document that is used in shipping and logistics for providing information regarding the shipment of goods, especially information such as sender, receiver, contents of the shipment, mode of transportation, or any other necessary details that are required by the authorities. On the other hand, a waybill is a digital form of the traditional waybill. It contains exactly the same information and it has the same function as waybill. After defining a waybill and a transport processes, now let's come to our main topic, the Romanian air transport system. As you know, RO air transport system is a digital platform that is constructed for monitoring the road transport of goods across Romania. The system has two main purposes. The first purpose is the monitoring of shipments of goods that have high fiscal risk. So there are some product categories that are defined by the government as high fiscal product categories, and if a product belongs to this category and if it is transported within the national territory, then it should be reported in the Romanian air transport system. On the other hand, the second purpose of the system is the monitoring the road transport of any kind of goods. In this case, we do not have any product group, any kind of goods. First of all, if the product is imported or exported from an European Union country or from a non-European Union country. So import and export operations are within the scope of the process, and also intra-community transactions where goods are in transit in Romania. So intra-community transactions are also within the scope of Romanian air transport system. In this slide, you can see the legal background for the air transport process in Romania. There are several government orders and publications related with the air transport process, but these are the main main government ordinances, especially the previous one, Government Ordinance No. 115, published in 2023 in December, is the final regulation that supplements some normative acts and extends certain deadlines regarding a transport process. So these government ordinances define the boundaries of the air transport process, the mandatory dates, and also the high fiscal product groups are also defined by these ordinances. In this slide, you can see the status of a transport process in Romania. The process started in 1st of January 2022 with air transport become mandatory for national road transport operations in Romania. And also starting from 1st of January 2023, air transport become mandatory for international road transport with origin or destination in Romania. And starting from 1st of January 2024, air transport in respect of international transport of goods of any kind become mandatory. Also, starting from 1st of March 2024, the high fiscal product categories will be updated, including meat, milk, egg, honey, and tobacco groups products. So the high fiscal products will be extended, and these products will be included in the transport process. And starting from 1st of July 2024, the sanctions for lack of declaration in Romania transport system will be started to be applied. So this date is the critical date, 1st of July 2024, from which the sanctions will be applied. In Romania, a transport system, the road vehicles can be monitored if they satisfy one of the two conditions. The first condition is the total mass of at least 2.5 tons, or the truck is loaded with a gross mass of more than 500 kilograms. So this is the first condition. And the second condition is the total value is more than 10,000 RON. So, if at least one of these conditions is satisfied, then the transport should be registered, should be submitted to the e-transport system. Here you see the list of products that are categorized as high fiscal risk products. So if these products are transported within the national territory or imports or exports, so they should be reported to the e-transport system. Especially starting from 1st of March 2024, some of the new product categories such as tobacco or milk or egg or such product categories will be included in the high fiscal risk. So starting from this date, these products should be reported to the government portal if they are transported within the national territory or imported or exported. In this slide, the Romanian transport process is summarized. First of all, in order to use the system, the users, this can be suppliers or the customers, end users, should register to the government portal, the ANAF portal or the SPV portal, and they should obtain the digital certificate. Once they have the registration, then they can generate e-way bills. E-way bills or e-transport documents can be generated electronically using their own software or a third-party application that is approved by ANAF. So if a company uses an ERP solution, then they have to generate e-way bill documents by collecting relevant information from the ERP system, and they should create the XML files according to government specifications and then transmit to the government. After transmission of documents to the government portal, the document passes through a validation process, and by using, of course, the transmission can be done in the online or the offline mode. After the verification process, if the document is validated by the government portal, then a unique identification code is assigned. This is the ITU code. This code is very critical. This code should be legible in the e-transport documents during the transportation. So if a check is occurred during the transportation, these codes should be supplied to the authorities. Otherwise, there are some sanctions that can be applied. During the Romanian transport process, first of all, the responsible unit, we will talk about this responsible unit. It can be supplier or it can be the end user, depending on the transport type, should access to Romanian transport system through the virtual private space, SPV portal, or using the API services through their ERP systems. So they can use this SPV portal or they can use their ERP solution as well to reach the government portal. So the Romanian transport system, after validation, after submission of the documents, the Romanian transport system check and validates the syntax and semantic structure of the submitted documents. If it is validated, then they return an ITU code. If it is not validated, then they return an error message together with the criteria that are not met. After this stage, the responsible unit can modify the data declared within the preservation of the original ITU code, but no later than the actual movement of the vehicle. So after submission of the document to the government portal and assignment of the ITU code, the responsible unit can still update the document as long as the vehicle has not moved. The actual movement has not been realized yet. So using the update services, the document can be updated by the original ITU code should be preserved. So after the transportation is completed, the vehicle reached the destination point, then the responsible unit should confirm in the system when the transport is ended on the route. So this confirmation should also be done at the end of the transport process. This slide is very critical because it summarizes the responsible units that are liable to fill the information in the Romanian transport system. Here we have actually three main scenarios. The first scenario is the companies are located in Romania. The company can be a European Union member or the company may be a non-European Union member state. So depending on these three conditions, we have different scenarios. In the first scenario, if both of the companies are located in Romania, that means the supplier company and the recipient company both are located in Romania, then the company A should submit the documents to the e-transport system. In the second case, company C is a European member other than Romania and company A located in Romania. So company A purchases some goods from company C. In this case, as the company A is located in Romania, the responsibility for reporting the documents to the government portal is under the responsibility of company A. In the third case, this time company A is the supplier located in Romania and company C is a European Union member other than Romania. In this case, again, company A should submit the documents to the government portal. In the fourth case, in this case, we have a company E that is a non-EU member state company and company A is located in Romania. In this case, the company A imports some products from company E, so the responsibility is under company A. In the fifth case, company A is located in Romania as the supplier company and company is a non-EU member state company as the recipient company. In this case, again, the responsibility is under company A. In the final case, both company C and company D are not Romanian companies, they are European Union member companies other than Romania. So in this case, we have an in-transit movement in Romania. In this case, the company F, the depository or the warehouse located in Romania, is responsible for reporting the document. So these are the main responsibilities for submitting the documentation and relevant information to the Romanian e-transport system. As in most e-compliance solutions, the structured XML format is also used in Romania e-transport document. So the structured XML, depending on the origin and the destination of the transport, a different XML structure is used. So these structured documents should be created depending on the transport type and submitted to the government portal. Of course, depending on the transport type, the information contained in the XML file may change, but the main information in the document should be the sender, consigner, and the recipient and beneficiary, the name, characteristics, quantities, values, etc. related with the goods transported, the loading and unloading points, locations, and details of the means of transport, and all the other required information should be included in this structured XML file. There are some deadlines and restrictions for the transport system. First of all, we have a 3 days condition. Transportation of goods must be declared to the system within a maximum of 3 days before the vehicle arrives. So the ITU codes should be generated, should be created before 3 days, a maximum of 3 days before the vehicle arrives. The second condition is once the ITU code is created and the vehicle starts the transportation, then this code will be valid for 5 days. These 5 days will be started from the transportation date. However, if it's an intra-community acquisition, then these 5 days will be 15 days in this case. There are 2 other restrictions. The first restriction is related with the intra-community transactions. During the transit, it is forbidden to unload unless it is reported to the government. So unloading the truck is not allowed for intra-community transactions. On the other hand, the second condition is it is forbidden to modify the data recorded in the Romanian transport system after the transport has arrived. So during the transportation, it is not allowed to modify the data in a transport system. This is also critical. However, if it is not initiated yet, if a transport is not started yet, then there is an update service. So using this service, you can update the information in the transport system. Here, if the conditions are not satisfied, there is a sanction. So if the ITU code is expired, or if an unload occurred, or if the data is modified on the transport system during the transportation, then the sanction is about 20,000 RON to 100,000 RON. So if these conditions are not satisfied, the sanctions will be applied. Here you see the obligations of the transport operator. In this case, the transport operator has some obligations. The transport operator, by the way, can be the company itself. The supplier may have their own transport operator, or a third-party company can also be the transport operator. In both cases, the transport operator has some obligations. The first obligation is first of all, they have their vehicles fitted with the necessary tracking devices. So the satellite systems should be installed on the vehicles, and during the transport, these positioning data should be opened on the turn position, so the government authorities should monitor the truck during the transportation. And also the transport operators should provide the driver with the ITU code that is related with the transported goods. So this code should also be available during the transport. So whenever authorities want to check, then this code should be submitted. So for this case, if the conditions are not satisfied, there is a sanction, again starting from 20,000 RON to 100,000 RON. So this sanction will be applied if conditions are not satisfied. In addition to the operating company, the driver also has some obligations. First of all, the driver should switch on the positioning device before starting a transport on the national territory, so the devices should be on. And also they should present the documents and the ITU code when the authorities request. So these are the two main obligations for the driver, and if they do not satisfy these requirements, then the sanction will be 5,000 RON to 10,000 RON. So after providing some information regarding the raw transport system, at this part of the presentation, we will provide some information regarding Melasoft transport solution, the system components and functions, its capabilities, and some project implementation plan. In this slide, you see the main system components and functions of Melasoft transport solution. First of all, the Melasoft solution, the main solution, is an SAP add-on solution. So it works under the SAP environment as an SAP add-on. And there are two main cockpits that will be used in the transport system, the outbound cockpit and the inbound cockpit, which will be used for sending and receiving the XML files to the government portal. Additionally, we have three supporting components: the application programs, periodic programs, custom programs and tables. These will be used for using the cockpits, sending and receiving information, updating status information, etc. Custom programs and tables, on the other hand, will be used for updating and customizing of Melasoft solution according to company's specification. So each company has different specification, each company uses different transportation types, so these customizations will be done using these custom programs and tables in SAP environment. In this slide, you see the SAP Easy Access menu of the Melasoft eDelivery transport solution. Of course, depending on the company's specification, the programs and the customizations may change. However, we have the programs section and customization section that will be used for reaching the cockpits, sending and receiving information from the government system, and also customization of the product according to company's specification and transportation types. So if required, we can have a demo session for showing the capabilities of our system as well. So if this is the case, please get in touch with Melasoft. In this slide, you can see the system architecture of the Melasoft solution. Actually, we have two distinct solutions. The first one is an SAP add-on solution, and the second one is the standalone solution. In the SAP add-on solution, Melasoft SAP Cockpit add-on solution is installed in the SAP environment, and once the transport documents are created in the SAP environment, when the delivery is generated, then in the background we create corresponding XML files according to government specifications, and then we submit this document to the ANAF portal. In the ANAF portal, after the validation process, if the document is validated, then the unit identification code is generated and received. So we cockpit automatically from the government portal. Actually, while sending the document to the government portal, we make the necessary controls according to government specifications. So in most of the times we will not receive any error from the government side because we already make these controls. So once the document is validated, we receive the UIT code and we add this UIT code to the necessary documentation so the document can be printed and supplied to the transport operator. In the second solution, we have a standalone solution. This standalone solution can be used for any ERP system. So we communicate with the ERP system using IDOC format, IDOC documentation. We receive the information from the ERP system. We create the XML documents outside the ERP system in the Melasoft e-Transport cockpit and then send these documents to the ANAF portal. After validation, again we receive the UIT code and then we send the corresponding information to the government so they can use these documents during the transportation. In this slide, some key features of Melasoft solution are summarized. First of all, our main solution is an SAP add-on solution. So it works within the SAP environment under full control of your company. So all security restrictions will be applied for the Melasoft solution as well. The second key capability is the Melasoft namespace. We use our own namespace in development of our product, so we do not modify client SAP system. It does not contradict with any object in the SAP environment. So this is very critical, especially during the system upgrades and changes in the system. In our solution, it is possible to display the Weibull and e-Transport documents in different formats such as PDF, XML and HTML formats, and also it is possible to download these documents to the computer and get the printouts. Our solution has the ability to integrate with different systems, so depending on your requirement, we have different capabilities for different integrations. Also in our system, all of the transactions that can be done can be authorized, so you can define different authorizations to different personnel so they can have limited capabilities over the system. Also, we have body outputs, so using these outputs you can make improvements in the system using your own development team. Another capability is the ability of the log of operations. All of the operations are logged in our solution. In case of any problem, you can visit the logs and you can see the reason for the errors. Again, our solution is adaptable to different systems, so depending on your company's requirements, we are open to any other integration, and also our solution can be applied for multinational implementations. So if you have operations in different countries, then we can implement a single e-Transport solution that works for all of the countries and creates the XML documents according to each country's specifications. In this slide, you can see the general implementation stages of the project. Of course, we have a more detailed plan for the implementation. However, here we have a summary. Actually, our implementation stage, excluding the waiting times for creation of SAP accounts or order documentation and bureaucratic issues, our project will be completed 3 to 4 weeks. So, in the first phase, we have the preparation phase in which the project teams are formed in the both sides, in the company side and in the Melasoft side, and at this stage we define the user accounts and also the required documentation will be completed during this phase. So all relevant business requirements and other documentation will be complete. In the explore phase, we have a functional analysis on your system. We define identifications, your transport types and other system characteristics, and also we have the XML mappings according to transport types. In the realization phase, our product is transported to your development system. At this system, we have the customizations, integrations, and unit and integration tests. Once these are completed successfully, then we have the trainings given by Melasoft team, and then user acceptance tests will be conducted at the end of realization phase. So once the product is tested successfully, then we pass through the deploy phase in which the product is transported to the production system. Here we have the final controls, final tests and approvals, and then we switch to the run phase in which the hypercare period starts. During this period, our support team works with your end users. In case of any problem, they are solved simultaneously. After hypercare period, then our regular support and maintenance period starts, in which if you face with any problem, you open a support ticket and then our support team handles the problem according to service level agreement. So this is the end of our presentation regarding a transport solution for Romania. If you should have additional questions or additional information, please get in touch with our support team and our company. So if you need, we can have a demo session as well. And also if you need, we can provide additional documentation regarding our products and its technical capabilities as well. Thanks for listening.